In attendance?
Yes, I was.
What exactly happened because you witnessed?
Just before I say that, I think it's fitting for me to respond to what has just been said, that Oka is going to avail a candidate and it will be shocking. There's nothing shocking. Already Gideon Moi was unveiled in Kasarani as the presidential candidate for KANU. Already Kalonzo Musyoka, several months before that, also unveiled himself, I think, under the brand name Maradafu or Marudufu, something like that. I think already Raila was also unveiled in Kasarani. So there is no shocker. I think we know that Martha Karua has also indicated an interest. So we know the principles that have presented themselves. The methodology they are using, the scientific data that they are calculating on the ground, like I said, is very strange. Historically, whether in America or any other country, candidates go out to the people, present themselves. What usually happens is other parties do polls in order to gauge the popularity of the person. And there will be an annual delegates conference of UDA where we shall endorse, we shall now pick the presidential candidate. And that is what happened. You've seen it happens in America. Several people say we are the Democratic candidates. They go out to the people, and then there is a delegates conference of the political party, and that is where they endorse. So even in UDA, if anybody wants to present themselves as a presidential candidate, no one has stopped them because we have an opportunity to pick at the annual delegates conference. But the requirement is that you need to have gone out to the people first, and then it will be assessed where you have received acceptability from the people out there on the grassroots and not in the boardroom. Now, let me talk about Jacaranda. I was present in Jacaranda yesterday. I was on the podium, therefore I could see everything that was happening from there. In fact, if anybody watched the videos, I was standing most of the time and looking out at the horizon. It was clear there were the crowds, and I arrived there before the deputy president's team arrived. And there was pockets. In fact, if you actually have the aerial views, which were taken by drones, will show you that initially there was one pocket, and each time they were heckling. And it was a small group. After a while, the others who were part of the actual crowd coming to listen to the deputy president actually pushed them back, and they went to the back. After a while, they regrouped again and came on another pocket. And they had stones, and they were trying to create violence. But if you look at the cameras, it was clear that there was the group that was in the front there were those who were. We had a group at the front who were part of our group. There were those at the far back who were also part of our group. And then there were these pockets that were in between. They were repulsed, they did go back, and then came back, and then went back. But I must commend the police, because at the time when they started throwing stones, the police came in, and the police cordoned off and kept them off the main rally. And so they stayed in the periphery. In fact, when the tear gas was thrown, it was at that group that was trying to come forward and throw stones. And they were clearly chanting, "Hatutaki Ruto, tunataka Babu." So it is obvious that it is Babu's crowd, because it is unusual for people to go to a rally that is not the subject of the rally and then start pelting stones and chanting somebody's name, and they are not scattered across the entire crowd. They are in small groups. Those are paid crowds. Those are people who have been brought there to come and cause chaos. And true, that was expected. That is ODM's signature, is stone throwing and violence. They have not changed. If you remember, Jimmy Wanjigi...
Is that a fair statement? Because
it is a fair statement, because stone throwing has always happened to anybody who has tried to go to ODM and ODM tough.
That's what I'm asking.
If you look,
when you say the ODM way of doing things, who do you attribute it to? Because the deputy president is blaming Raila Odinga, and shortly